Welcome back to Games Revealed. I'm James, and also the Brink, and we are one community. It will be interesting to see how tonight goes, as we have with us a lot of new things that have happened in the last week, and then on top of that, a big thing that's also happened is CES is going on right now. So we have the MSI Claw that came out. We have AYANEO Elite that's with us. That's going to have the SteamOS. Well, it's not with us yet, but it's been brought into the ether, I guess, of knowledge. And that is going to have, let's move that back a little bit, SteamOS. It's going to be one of the first ones to have SteamOS. And then I really need to have like a countdown timer for when the stream starts, because I'm sure people are missing out on the very beginning, but that is whatever. And then we're going to just see the Unity and all the layoffs kind of going on in the game industry. Talk about that, AI, and then any CSS stuff. Cascoder, I'm glad I scared you. I'm going very revealing today. Anyone that's here early gets this to see my unzipped sweater. We'll pop the collar. Very modest. We'll go from very revealing to very modest. Okay. Welcome, Andre, if you're still here. Again, I might not make it. Yeah, I kind of figured, Andre, but you know what? I love that you try to make it. Honestly, I have really thought about making this just an hour earlier, but people are so used to 8. But we'll see. And then Cascoder, welcome. Once again, the Icarus, welcome. Cascoder, my fiance is in the same room. I don't want her to catch me. I'm sorry, it's going to happen. Raichi, with those eyes, man, you have those eyes. I swear you watch my stuff just to catch the things I throw out there that are just random me things, I guess. Okay. Also, it is weird. Everyone else in the world has commented on this, but Matt Pat is retiring is a weird one. I think everyone kind of saw it. He was definitely feeling or like noticing that he was getting wore out more and more with his content and everything like that. I think he was fighting too much with to be fair, as we wait for people to trickle on in, we'll talk about this. But to be fair, he's in one of the worst places to be for controversial takes, getting probably attacked by fandoms and stuff like that, and that is just fan theories. Like, his original channel, Game Theories, is just hilarious. Like, I have enough controversy just saying I didn't enjoy the Legion Go as much as I was hoping. Even though I do say it's for some people, I respect that. I get some hate from that. I couldn't imagine saying, the wrong thing of some of those really crazy fandoms. And we've talked about fandoms in the past and past podcast episodes, which I need to get back on top of that. I have 2 membership-only podcast episodes that need to be released, and then I have a membership or just a regular podcast that needs to get released. I recorded before the New Year's, and it's technically supposed to be a New Year. We won't talk about that. That will get released soon enough, though. Clayton Fisher, it's sad but understandable. Yeah, it really is sad. 13 years, though, I understand. Dude, I've been in the software industry for like 11, 12 years, probably maybe longer. And I'm getting to the point where I kind of want to retire from just writing software. I want to write games or do something else. Like, at this point, it's a career where it used to be an enjoyable career. And so it's just kind of become a career to make money. So I totally get it. I think even with the YouTube stuff, I'd probably go the Markiplier route where I would, I'm still figuring out the YouTube stuff anyways. But I like doing this a lot. But I think as I go along, I think I'm going to focus on just what I want eventually, which I do like doing this, but there's other things I like doing too. Cascoder, the OG of clickbait. I say that with respect. Yeah. Clickbait is such a weird one. If you're not going to deliver on what you say, then it's clickbait. If you do deliver and it's really catchy and a little off, I kind of call it like, I don't know if I'd call it clickbait, but it can be annoying sometimes. Rachie, welcome. Oh yeah, I already said welcome. Yes, the Claw. We've got the Claw getting us the MSI Claw. Okay, we've talked enough. I think we've let enough people kind of mosey on in. Let me do one last little announcement on just one last announcement on the Discord. There we go. And we can get started. Switch this on over to yeah. Oh. What? Oh, it's this one. Of course. Wolf, welcome. Okay, so the Claw. Why did they name it the Claw? Does anyone know why they named it the Claw? I think it's interesting. The Legion Go is 2 words, which I do. Honestly, I think one word handheld names needs to be the new common thing. Steam Deck is 2 words, I guess, but they don't need to say Valve Steam Deck. It's just Steam Deck at least. You know, that rolls off the tongue, whatever. MSI Claw doesn't. I'll just call it the Claw. Legion, or you got the Legion Go, which you can't really say the Legion. There's other Legion devices. Then you've got the ROG Ally, and I probably should just call it the Ally, but like when you say the Ally, like, oh, are you an ally? You know, it comes into LGBTQ plus territory and all the other stuff. And so it's kind of refreshing to have it be one name, the Claw. And it has a lot of fun attached to it. Wolf is getting a Claw. Wait, is she? I did not, Rachie, I did not look through chat. Did she say she was going to get it? Well, how are other MSIs called? What are the other? I don't think I've ever heard of another MSI laptop being called like anything. Is it? Like, okay, Stealth, Raider, that's right, Titan, Summit. Yeah, okay. That's right. They have their like one name code names. They're not amazing names, but the Claw, it's mid, but at least it's one name. And it's going to be Intel, which if you haven't, I believe I talked about this on another stream on the Brink Twitch. It's good. I think this is good. It's good that Intel is getting smart and making APUs that are for handheld gaming devices. It's one of their newer ones, I believe, right? They're off their newest chipset. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong on that. I haven't been following Intel as much. I've been following AMD like hell for the past few years, APU-wise. When it comes to like mainstream Intel chips, though, and for like desktops, I'm still kind of an Intel NVIDIA person, but I do want to finally build the AMD system one of these days. I will get there one day. Cascoder posted something in Discord Gaming News Channel. Ooh. Let's see, Gaming News Channel. Oh my gosh. Give me a second. Oh, that's right. Wait. How old is that? Sorry, I'm... Here we go. For some of the niche TV shows called Okay. Okay, well, we'll look at that at the end, okay? Cascoder. I want one if it's good. Wolf. I think everyone wants it if it's good. Wolf Claw. Nah, she's a wolf. I think The Legion Go and the Ally have proven that like Windows handhelds can have differing opinions that are attractive to different people. And like I mentioned, I did predict this. I'm a prophet, and no, I'm just kidding. And Mike Holt is going to drink some Kool-Aid now. No, this is the decade of the handheld. I think is the resurgence. I think PC handheld gaming is going to be is going to continue to be a big deal. We're seeing more and more. I even mentioned that like, hey, there's some new companies coming out with devices. MSI Claw is one of them. The big thing was the Intel powered was like that was a big surprise. The Icarus. I'm also thinking of getting an MSI Claw if it is good. I think everyone is probably thinking about getting it if it's good enough. I've heard some inklings about it that say it is going to be pretty good. At least MSI doesn't name their products their company name and a series of numbers and letters. Oh my god. That's if you want to be like in marketing, let's say, and I've talked about this time and time again. Handheld devices are mainstream gaming devices. If you're a hardcore gaming nerd, you're not leaving your room. You're just going to play from your PC, like for the most part. If you're hardcore enough and have the money where you leave your room enough to make money, then you might, or not trust fund baby, then you're going to get a handheld. So if you're trust fund baby, most likely you're going to get that too. But it's mainstream, meaning it needs to be attractive to everyone. They can catch people that aren't even PC gamers. They're just console gamers kind of coming over to it. And I have a friend, Beef, I don't think he's here now, but he comes in every once in a while and says hi. He wants to get a Steam Deck now because it's attractive because he's a console gamer. He has been since day one. He's had PCs on and off, but he's never been a big PC gamer and only has played it for certain games he couldn't otherwise play. So I think the Steam Deck's super attractive to him. Raichi, they should call it the MSI Searcher with the Intel chip. This device will be hot. Oh, geez. Well, that is an interesting concept in the sense of it being hot. I know Intel's been trying to work on that, but Intel has typically been the hotter of the two the past few years. I don't think it's going to be as hot as the original Steam Deck, but we'll see. I didn't think the original Steam Deck was that hot. My pain threshold for like heat is much higher than some, so I don't know. 8 core, I cook a lot, and with that, yeah, certain temperatures obviously will get too much to where it burns my hands, but I'm pretty not sensitive when it comes to that stuff. Raichi, 8 core, 16 threads. The Claw seems to hide behind big numbers. Yes, 8 core, 16 threads are treads. So it's like a treadmill. So it's like you have 16 treadmills. You have 16 people running that treadmill. No, but yeah, 8 core, 16 threads. I mean, you can pretty much don't have to say 16 threads anymore. We all know how cores work. They're always dual threaded. Okay, so yeah, 8 cores is a lot. But from my understanding, I've read some into this. The Intel, at least in this case, is going to be a little bit better at handling those cores than AMD, I guess, for performance reasons, but I guess we'll find out. I also have some videos we can watch, too, on people using it. It's 7 inches, which I think is a mistake. I also think it's a mistake that it is... actually, yeah, no, 7 inches. I think that's the biggest thing that's a gripe for me. I think 8 inches is the creme de la creme of like, it's the perfect size for a monitor, for a handheld. And you can see with the way this is built that we could get, and it could be for durability's sake to not have it as close to the edge. And I think people don't realize that sometimes, that like the closer you get to the edge, like we can do with monitors more and more, we can get bezel-less stuff, but like, it also makes it more weak. It adds more, it doesn't have as much room for bumps before it starts affecting the screen on it and breaking the screen. So we got to remember that too. But yeah, 7 inches. I'll be honest, This is going to have to outcompete the Ally a lot for me to get this over the Ally. It's a lot like the Ally. It has the side start and menus and all that, which I think the Legion Go should have done. The way that Legion Go has done theirs is they put the start and select at the bottom left, which is, I think, like a Game Gear, isn't it? Game Gear does that. I think, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't like it. I'm probably wrong on that. I am definitely wrong on that. They just have a start button right there. What was I thinking of that does it like that? Oh my gosh. Dude, you look at this. This makes me feel so old. This looks so ghetto compared to the new handhelds. Oh, but that was the GOAT back in the day. Sega Game Gear, the GOAT. Okay, guys, let's see here. Yeah, it's got 1080p screen. Looking to last, battery life was a priority for MSI's designers, and the Claw comes outfitted with a 53-watt battery that MSI claims can last 2 full hours under heavy load. 2 hours of handheld gaming game time is promising, indeed, but we'll need to wait until we can properly test it to see how. Yeah, I believe that they're going to get about 2 hours. I believe that, which is not. It's going to be a little better than the Ally and the Legion Go, but it's going to be less. It's going to be probably more on par with Steam Deck, and then not as high as the Steam Deck OLED. Yeah, Windows 11, which I honestly think Windows is secretly working on something for handhelds. They've got to see this. I know they're working on AI, but they've got to see this like evolution of handheld gaming is a big deal. I love handheld gaming myself, and we need the software to catch up. I actually think the hardware is catching up a lot. The software is not, and I will even say SteamOS isn't catching up fast enough in some regard. I'm gonna find a Thunderbolt 4 port, which is awesome. This is another reason why this might be a little better than the AMD chip. This Thunderbolt 4 is what I've seen a lot of eGPUs use. Now, USB 4 can be used, and I've seen stuff, and it seems to work fine. But I know, tried and tested, like it works well as Thunderbolt 4 for eGPUs. So, albeit I would still like to see some different standardizations, it's still nice to see that, it's Intel, so there's going to have Thunderbolt 4. Yeah, it will work as a full PC. MSI will also sell a desktop stand that does double duty as a Thunderbolt hub, charging the handheld while also giving you a full-size HDMI port and pair of USB connections because it can run an external display. You can even Steam Deck. All the devices can do this for the most part, but this is the one with that Thunderbolt 4. It's going to be able to really do some pretty cool stuff, including Steam VR. Andre, you made it. Welcome, Andre. Raichi, the jump from the deck from the Ally was huge. The Claw won't be able to do the same. I don't think so either. And I do think people don't realize, like, the Ally, I can play any game I throw at that. I can play it. Some tweaking needs to be done typically. I can play any game that I throw at that. The Steam Deck can't do that, but the Steam Deck is a better device for just long-term playing. The Steam Deck OLED is my favorite device right now, as I can go back and play I have so many games. I went and beat Shadow of Mordor. I'm on War now on my PC because I want the better experience with that one. But I went back and beat that with the OLED. It was awesome. It was really good. I'm also playing Mass Effect Andromeda, partially because it has HDR support, and the HDR on it is awesome. Like, that's another cool thing about the OLED. It has a lot of niceties built in, and it's just that it's not powerful enough. Like, even with some verified games, like I think Dead Space is verified, it's just hiccupy enough to where I want it to be a little bit more consistent of an experience, or else you kind of lose me. If it lags too much, it takes me out of the experience and kind of frustrates me. If it lags every once in a while, I can deal with that. I grew up having to deal with that with PCs, but if it does it too much, then it takes me out of the experience. The Nokia N-Gage is the real handheld to go. Oh my gosh, right here. Okay, for people that don't understand this, the N gauge is, I had an N gauge. I worked at, no, I don't know if I actually worked at, I think I almost worked at GameStop when this came out. I think it was like a year before. But I bought this. I had fun with it. I did trade this in though. This is it. Wow, that is a very, okay, there we go. I was going to say a very fuzzy, like you can even see, like, dude, it's probably like a dot. You can see the resolution on this thing. It's like, it's got 300 dots by 300 dots, or 128 by 128, 128 by, like, I don't know. Okay, enough of that. I played Tony Hawk on this. It was cool. The problem is the screen is not appropriate. It's taller than wider. It was fun, and it had a lot of cool things to it. And it was kind of like ahead of its time in some aspects. In other aspects, you had to hold it like a taco. That's one of the things people laughed at. Is Raichi, exactly, the taco phone. You had to hold it on the side and listen to it. Like, sometimes I'd hold it like this and listen to it. I was also a skater too and all that. So I'd skateboard with it, talk on the phone. Not like I talked that much, but it was cool. But yeah, the taco phone. There's a whole subreddit dedicated to this thing. People just collecting and doing everything. You can see, like, the simplicity in this thing is just so crazy. It's an ARM, 104 megahertz CPU, and it's games. Let's see. Yeah, it had two different kinds too. The Cutie also. It had, I believe, it had like Sims in it. I'll get back to the regularly scheduled program. Spider-Man 2, Sonic N. Tony Hawk is the one I had. I had this for it. It was awesome. But I also had it for the PlayStation, so it was cool to play it on the go, but just like always, like, it wasn't worth it just for the few games I had. Oh, that's right. Splinter Cell was on it. Damn. Okay. Let's get back to this thing. Raichi, Xbox wants to expand, but they're not doing nothing on the handheld market except some marketing partnerships with ROG and Lenovo. That's how they're, well, no. So here's the thing. I don't see Microsoft making their own handheld anytime soon. They're probably going to research it. I would not be surprised if they're not researching it. I would be surprised if they're not researching it. I think I'm saying that right. Wolf, sorry, lurking while I play. You are addicted to that game, Wolf. I think we're going to need to get you into some anonymous program for that. I'm trying to beat the hardest boss in the game, and it's not even the last boss. Well, good luck, Wolf. But you're good. You're good. The Verge said they didn't like the control when dealing with Windows. Compared to what the other ones, like the Verge isn't my favorite journalist place. Engage resolutions 176 by 208. You can see the density. We just saw it. Like, you can see the density of the pixels. They're very, very loose density, if that's how that's said. Cascoder had to take out the battery to put it in a different game. Great design, 10 out of 10. Yeah. Speaking of bad phones, iPhone emulation has been making decent progress. No, there you go. Okay, that's one thing I didn't cover much. Mikkel did. iPhones are baller at gaming these days. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I think ASUS makes some decent gaming phones, but I'm not really a gaming on the go kind of person. But like, I am thinking about getting an iPhone again, partially because it's just simplicity in it. It works really well with my MacBook and everything, and I'm back into having to use a MacBook a lot for work. And I don't know. I want to try out Resident Evil 4 on it. I'm not going to lie. Okay. So 32-bit iPhone, iPod touch games are being preserved. Yes. Yeah, no. That type of emulation for sure. Raichi, I just want Windows to make a handheld switch like the tablet mode switch they have on laptops, or a TV mode will be welcome. Solos, welcome. Raichi, 100%. And I've talked about this so many different times. I should make a whole video on it. Send it to as many execs as possible, saying, "Hey, dumbasses." No, I'm just kidding. if you ever see this, you're not a dumbass. You might be a little greedy, but not a dumbass. AI is awesome. You're chasing it really hard. Keep chasing that, but understand there's different verticals, and you need to go after some other stuff. Handheld gaming is going to be a huge one for Xbox. And if you can secure, especially with your Xbox program, like with the Xbox subscription service, secure a couple of things with it, man, you could really take on this new behemoth that's growing. An Xbox gaming like controller mode for Windows would be amazing. It's like a controller hooks up or whatever, and it could just dual purpose work with handhelds. So the handheld launches like, oh hey, do you want to always just launch into Xbox mode, which would just look like SteamOS? Why not, right? And you can go through all your games, select it, go through like have Steam, everything hooked up there, and then there's no reason. Honestly, they could just do tablet mode almost and get away with it. Obviously, some not niceties there, but it is what it is. Raichi, Java phone games emulators are awesome. Playing the AC Java games was awesome. Is that Assassin's Creed? BT Maverick, welcome. What up, everyone? Just got here. Gonna have to jump back for the Claw talk. Oh, yeah, no problem. We're still talking about the Claw, and we're going to watch some videos on it. So here in a second. Solos, handhelds are getting small enough they might be able to replace laptop and smartphone. I think we're going to see folding. Honestly, the evolution will be interesting towards the end. I think the Steam Deck 2 will be very similar to Steam Deck 1. But I think after this decade, we're going to see the emergence of like handhelds, phone / portables, like especially if we move to ARM. I think there's more and more architectures wanting to move to ARM architecture. Like Mac uses the ARM architecture, and they're killing it. They're slaying it when it comes to like performance and emulation and all that stuff. I do think we're going to see that happen, where we're going to get to that, and with that, I think we're going to see potentially, maybe, I just don't, the problem is like, you're going to want the controllers at all. Like I always want a controller with the handheld. So I don't know if it'd fully be able to replace, but like fold outs or having 2-piece sets, which we kind of already have, could become the norm maybe in the future. Who knows? Solos, let's see here. Stay lifted. I would buy a Xbox handheld in an instant. I honestly would be very tempted depending on what they do. If they went like retro and had like the original Xbox green thing on the back, just like glowing hard with its ridges, and just had to be really slick and semi old school while being new school, I'd have to do a little drawing to show you what I'm thinking of. But I'm kind of thinking of I guess the Claw meets Xbox, like the original. I think would be sick. Cascoder, I think if it wasn't for the Steam Deck, we would have had a 720p portable powered by Xbox Series S components. I think that market is too late for the Microsoft to enter as Xbox or Windows Surface. I kind of agree with that timeline. If you heard my timeline for some of my stuff, I do think like Steam Deck 2 is going to be coming out in 2025. I think we're going to get an announcement at the end of this year. I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of go to that, and 2025 is the Steam Deck 2. I'd be really surprised if they didn't release the Steam Deck 2 in 2025. Albeit, I know people are going to be upset. They don't want to see, but you got to remember, it's not true. It's not a true console. It's a PC. They can be it's very easy to iterate off them. If you're looking for timeline for that type of stuff, I don't know what exactly you're asking for, Solos, though. Stay lifted. I've talked about it a little bit. I'm going to get into it some more. With Windows 11, we can install anything from the Google Play Store on Windows. Yeah, no, 100%. Windows 11 is awesome. Timeline on full Windows smartphone. After Windows does their AI thing, realize they can't replace like all their working force with AI because it's going to take iteration after iteration. AI is not going to be perfect for many decades to come, but it is going to be something that's going to be it's going to happen faster and faster. Rachie, we want the Claw. What you think better, ROG Ally or a Steam Deck OLED? Stay lifted. I think the Steam. Okay, my go-to right now for playing games that play on it are Steam Deck OLED. If I'm going to play something newer, like the Tony Hawk game plays amazing on the Ally, I'm playing on the Ally. Anything that came out last year, I'm playing on the Ally. Anything that came out before that, I'm playing on the Steam Deck OLED. I have the luxury of having those two devices. If I had to choose one, it just comes down to, do you want to tackle your game library, like your library that's older than last year? Steam Deck OLED. It's a beautiful device. Like Mass Effect Andromeda, like I mentioned earlier, the HDR is beautiful on it. It runs great on the deck. I really like it. It just feels like a smoother experience than the original Steam Deck. The Ally, its shortcomings come in that it is screen technically, because of the way its resolution and everything is a little smaller. It's a 16:9 instead of 16:10. It's a little smaller. And it is a little, when you're talking about 7 inches, it's noticeable. And then its battery life is really shit. Like, if I'm going to have one handheld device, there's a good chance, like, you have to weigh in. Do you plan on leaving much? I don't leave enough that where it might matter. But if I do have a couple of trips lined up this year for work. Work has me going to Georgia and also Costa Rica. So I have a chance to really try out. And I'm also going to Hawaii for a wedding, but that's a different story. So I get a chance this year to test out the portability of a lot of these devices. So I'll let you guys know. I'll take a device for each kid. Each kid can have a device, so I can, bring it and justify it. Okay. The timeline on this full Windows smartphone, I don't know. Like, would they go back to a smartphone? They might not. I think if they go down this route of hardware, they might, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if I have a timeline on that. Cascoder, Microsoft would never go back to a Windows Phone OS. I would not say that. I don't think that would be smart to say never. I think they would be foolish to not evolve their OS to work anywhere. Honestly, if I was them, I'd have a huge research budget into making their UI more portable, more universal. That's just me, though. Windows Phone OS was baller. I'm going to say that right now. It was awesome. I loved it. I don't think they're going to make one anytime soon, but trying to predict past 5 years, I think at this point is a little, and even for me, like I've already predicted past that a little bit. I think predicting past 5 years is a little crazy though, because with AI and some innovations, unless we have a really bad downtrend on funding and our economy, which could affect innovations, I think we're going to be surprised. I think we're going to be surprised at how far AI is going to have to take to replace jobs, but I do think we're going to be surprised at how much AI will start to incrementally take over everything and automation. Those that mean I can finally read my visual novels on a phone someday. You could read your visual novel. Like, is it on Steam though? Are we talking about Raichi? Because if it's not, you can read those on a fold-out smartphone. Those things are pretty awesome too. Stay lifted. ROG Ally battery isn't great. No, it's not. It's not. In fact, I think it's about the same, if not a little less than the Steam Deck. I think it's the same as the Steam Deck, but it's less than the Steam Deck OLED. And its chip is much more power hungry. The balancing that was done for the AMD chip, the Van Gogh, was very aggressive to try. Like, they brought down cores and everything to be as balanced as possible to save energy. So the Ally definitely will burn through its battery. Let's say if I max it out, it will burn through its battery twice as fast as the Steam Deck. But it's going to be able to play games that Steam Deck can't play. And even if I lower that down, because the performance grade is not like 1-to-1. It's not like I put it into 25 watts TDP. Oh, it's going to get that much better performance. No. If I run it at 15 watts and I run the Steam Deck at 15 watts, the Ally is going to beat the Steam Deck. It's how new architectures work, how progressive stuff happens with these devices. Like, it's going to, at the same TDP, it's going to have improved performance. It's just kind of how it's been going on for a decade now plus. Rachie, 7 inches is noticeable. Depends. If it's for your visual novels and there's a 7-inch thing in there on a 7-inch screen, it's going to be really small. If you're just talking about a 7-inch screen, yeah, I can see a 7-inch screen from pretty far away. The screen itself, anything on the screen though, that's a different story. Have a good night, Andre. Thank you for stopping by. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. I think Xbox should take over the market by introducing a better Windows OS and Game Pass on every handheld and give everyone a month. They're already doing that. Everyone a month Game Pass. And when you buy any of these devices that are Windows, they give you a month or 3 months, I think, sometimes, of free Game Pass. So I think it stacks too. As far as they do need to improve their OS, it's an evolutionary thing. They want to be able to back, and that's one of the things that's cool about Windows is that I can utilize the software, play the games from 20 years ago for the most part, depending, of course. There are Windows emulators for Android. Yes, there are. Solos, with as powerful and small as these handhelds are getting, I would like to see a smartphone running full Windows 11. Once they switch over they already do support ARM, and I think there's already people that do kind of put it on their phones and stuff like that. The problem is the phone does not do a great job, or Windows 11 does not do a great job on a small screen. I have Windows 11, and I think Windows 11 is better at small screens than Windows 10, but I have Windows 11 on my AYANEO Air. No, that screen is like a 5.5 or 6 inch or something like that. It's too small. It's doable. SteamOS works so much better on that device. It's so much better. Stay lifted. How powerful do you think the Steam Deck 2 will be? As long as they go with the newest architecture for 2025, then I do think it's going to be nearly double the performance as the Steam Deck. And that is a very it's not going to be a 1-to-1 double the performance, but some things will get double the performance. Some things will get like 20-30% better performance. But I can almost guarantee you when that comes out that pretty much anything that comes out that year or before will play on it, with some exceptions, of course. Solos, ARM sucks for Windows. Yes, it does. It doesn't suck that bad though. I've used it. I can't remember if I've tried a game on it though, but Mac has done a lot to do to support their stuff on ARM, and I think it's just a matter of time before ARM is going to be the main chipset. I just think that's kind of the way things are going. I have work tomorrow morning too, also, but yeah. So Steam Deck 2, I think at its best will be 2 times. At its worst, like 50% faster. But I honestly, it will have all the niceties that Steam Deck OLED has. Let's get into more of the battery or everything, okay? So you'll find the handful of options for the MSI Claw when it launches with a base model starting at $699 The Intel Core Ultra 5. Oh, no, don't tell me that they're going to have, they're going to do the Ultra 7. Damn it. They're going to have an Ultra 5 and 512 gigabytes of SSD storage. A more powerful Intel Core 7 model will also be available selling for $749. Why would you not just do the more powerful, unless it eats up battery really bad? For $512, that's $50 more. I just don't get the price jump. I don't get that. I get it that it's probably the same chipset, and they're just ones that are rated higher, or Ultra 7s. Okay. MSI has not announced a firm date for retail availability for representatives I spoke with say should land in the coming months. I think it will come out in 3 or 4 months, maybe around when at the latest, early summer. Honestly, I think everything's there for the tech. Let's kind of see what. In fact, let's watch the Linus Tech Tips one first because he's actually at CES. Let me get the Claw. Let's watch this, guys. Down for watching this? You okay with this?
MSI's booth, they're showing.
Is the Claw the new best? Yeah. So you can probably assume that every handheld that comes out that's in a different year per se, or within a new chipset, is going to be better. If it's in the existing chipset, it's going to come down to more or less what it ships with is what is going to make it better or not, but not faster. Some ASUS, I think, is faster than the Legion Go in some but I've heard a lot of different things on that, so I'm not going to go into all that stuff. Let's see.
From laptops and monitors to car chargers, but what I wasn't expecting was for them to get into a new category, which is paint.
Oh my gosh, paint. No, I almost guarantee you Linus knew that this was coming. I already can guarantee you that he knew it was coming.
Yeah,
I kind of was assuming. I know Razer's working on something because they're going to be working on something. But I was like MSI and Gigabyte maybe, but MSI. I figured MSI was going to come out with something.
I pulled you into the video just to make that joke. Sorry, Cliff. In all seriousness, though, the MSI Claw does a lot more than just change the color of the existing handheld gaming systems on the market. From the outside, yeah, it bears a lot of similarity to a system like the ROG Ally or the.
Oh, I didn't see the back of this fully. I saw this, but I didn't pay attention to the back buttons. I do think Steam is onto something. I do like the 2. If you're gonna do back buttons, do 2. Okay. Okay. I know people say it's very similar. I don't think it's that similar. Ridges, a lot of things are very different. The 2 things are kind of the same, are these 2 things, and they're not even the same shape.
Steam Deck, but on the inside, it is running Intel's all-new Core Ultra series processors, which promises some pretty interesting
welcome, Chalice.
benefits. I'll get to that.
I will have to say, from the looks of everything, I do like the way this is looking. I'm not the biggest fan of white, even though I do like the Ally quite a bit. I will probably end up buying this, by the way. I'm returning the Legion Go, so I can go, there's a whole reason for that. I do like the Legion Go. I'll probably buy it again later this year if I can afford it. I have other things I have to do this year, but honestly, I probably would buy this next if I can get my hands on it.
Talk about what's special about the outside. But first,
Chalice, there's no reason to upgrade from the Steam Deck if you're happy with it.
Message from our sponsor.
Headphone juice is not something you should be proud of. These are your typical headphones that accumulate heat well.
While you can get Hall effect joysticks as an add-on for consoles like the Steam Deck, MSI has opted to go for both Hall effect joysticks and triggers right out of the box with the Claw.
That makes sense, but I honestly don't think, I'll be honest, I've installed the Hall effects and all that stuff. I actually like the original sensors in the Steam Deck more. I don't know what it is. I just liked them a little bit more. I don't think you're going to wear out the Steam Deck's controllers soon enough if you plan on upgrading to Steam Deck 2 to have it matter.
I wasn't expecting this move after Valve stated they opted not to use Hall effect joysticks over reliability concerns, but given how much
I'm not surprised
using them, it's definitely a welcome one to me, even if, I don't know, something could go wrong at some point. Other than that, they've ticked all...
I shouldn't say every Hall effect is going to be bad. I don't think reliability is per se that has to be a concern for everything. This might be the best that they get, and it's not a bad control or joystick.
The important boxes, dual stereo front-facing speakers that are not covered by your palms. Love to see it. An integrated fingerprint sensor and the power button.
The speaker is also going to be, like, if it's big, I don't like how open it is, but if it's anything like the Ally, it's going to destroy everything else. This is probably the one thing, my biggest gripe with the Legion Go, and it's my biggest gripe with AYANEO is the speakers suck so bad. And weirdly enough, like on my phone, I almost always have my headphones in. On my gaming devices, I don't. My family, they can go. I'm not gonna say anything too bad, but yeah, I don't care. They're listening to me Battleworks and stuff like that.
A micro SD slot that hopefully doesn't overheat, and good and.
As long as they're managing it, it's fine. The problem is just test it well and manage it fine. But I get why he's bringing it up. It's fun.
Not feeling buttons and ergonomics, that I don't expect this to be an issue. Whether you're more of a rested in front of you gamer, sit it in your lap gamer, or just hold it up gamer. Whether they came up with that on their own or borrowed from their competitors, I don't know, but realistically at this point it doesn't matter because there's one other standout feature that I absolutely love to see. Because they've gone Intel, they have an integrated Thunderbolt 4 port, which means that, like the Ally, you'll be able to run an external graphics card on the Claw. But unlike the Ally, you're not limited to ASUS's proprietary XG mobile graphics interface. Now, Thunderbolt does have a disadvantage. This is Thunderbolt 4, not Thunderbolt 5. So it runs at half of the total bandwidth of ASUS's solution. But as long as you're not hooking a 4080 or a 4090 up to this thing, you can still get a healthy graphics boost by docking it to a GPU.
And even if you hooked it up to a 4080, 4090, the fall off for performance gains is really, really strong with the higher GPUs you go with. So it'd be, unless you're rich and don't care, it'd be stupid to pair something like this with 4090 GPU. So doesn't even matter.
And a part of what enables
I think he brings up a good point there.
The strong CPU performance of the Meteor Lake Core Ultra 5 or Core Ultra 7 processors that are at the heart of these things, which, of course, we're about to take a look at here.
No, you're not going to break that one.
What?
You can try this one.
I want the real. Oh, is this just a dummy one?
No, it's actually functional.
Oh. Well, then why is this a sacrificial lamb?
Because this one is more important.
Fair enough. To even get to open it for you guys at all, I had to sign away my life. They said they want 2 free sponsored videos if I break it.
Yep.
But you said this one's not important.
Not as important.
It's probably the lesser version.
Up to in their booths over the years. I'm surprised they're letting me do this at all, but I couldn't resist an opportunity to show off the very early prototype of our precision screwdriver kit, coming soon to lttstore.com. And besides, a big selling
gonna be so
point of
expensive.
competing handhelds, like especially the Steam Deck, is the ease with which they can be opened up and upgraded or repaired. So I would like to see if that's something that can also be said about the Claw. We're off to a good start. 6 screws, all of which are the same.
What?
And a fairly easy single piece back that gives us, let's see, whoa, a dual heat pipe cooling system. Love to see it. My goodness, no, what? I didn't even think
Let's
about
turn that up.
But that was running Assassin's Creed Mirage, and I'm in a show floor, but I could barely hear it. Ah, not bad, MSI. Not bad. There's actually a lot to appreciate in here. For one thing, look at this battery. I was wondering how they packed a 53 watt-hour battery into this thing, and I guess the answer is with a really funky shape. That's a really good thing. It contributes.
Wait, what is the shit? Oh, it kind of like, it chops it up a little bit. It definitely looks like it's easier. Oh, no, yeah, that's really funky. Look at that. What?
Hand feel, and Intel claims will give you a full 2 hours of battery life running full tilt at the 35 watt maximum TDP that this thing will do when it's running on battery power. They claim more like 8 hours when it's running in the 10 watt endurance mode. And there's more good news. The Wi-Fi module is not soldered, and we saw the importance of this when Valve upgraded the Steam Deck to the Steam Deck OLED, and we saw a dramatic increase in download speeds when they went from Wi-Fi 5
did.
to Wi-Fi 6E.
I was surprised at how big of a difference that also made was the Wi-Fi 6 to or Wi-Fi 5 to 6. Richie, I bought a dirt cheap smartphone gamepad with Hall effect thumbsticks. I quite love that. Yeah, and once again, I'm not going to say that they're bad per se. I just preferred them on the Steam Deck. I prefer the original, but I played with them a lot to the Hall effect. No, like my old Steam Deck has it. My new Steam Deck does not. I need to figure something out with my new old Steam Deck. I don't think people like giveaways of old stuff, right? That's been used. I can't wait for McDonald's to give handheld PCs inside Happy Meals box. With how many are going to be created and all the e-waste is going to come from this, they could pick up some old ones probably in like 5 years and do that. MSI Claw looks just like the ASUS. Stop capping. An Ecrosphere. I don't think it looks exactly like it. I think the front has some similarities. Like, I'll say it. The front looks similar. I don't think the back looks similar. But I think you're going to find, Necrosphere, that most handhelds that are going to be coming out, especially ones from these mainstream companies, are going to be very similar. Just how it works. Raichi, Linus actually had the only functional claw. The important one he wanted to try was the dummy. Not surprised. Cascade me trying to ignore Linus with my Wi-Fi 6 non-E router.
Of course, less of an issue on the Claw in the first place because it ships with Wi-Fi 7, meaning you're probably going to run into a CPU bottleneck for downloading games before you max out your Wi-Fi. As an added bonus with that chip, while you can use the 3.5mm headphone microphone combo jack, it's Bluetooth 5.4, meaning that with a compatible headset, you can expect much lower latency, even over traditionally kind of crappy Bluetooth. Coming back to that CPU again, there are two different chips that you might find in the MSI Claw, the Core Ultra 5 135H or the Core Ultra 7 155H. Both of them have two of what Intel are calling low power efficiency cores, which are basically the same as their regular efficiency cores, but built on a different process and tuned to handle background tasks. They both have
Yeah, it's the new style that they're going with, right? So, like background tests, like he talks about, like that's a big deal. I think that's actually going to save a lot of power. We'll see. In theory, it's going to be pretty big. In practicality and how Intel does things, sometimes it doesn't pan out how they say it does. Solos, they will use the design that sells. Look at the boring same smartphones. It's true. It's true. I don't think that, I honestly, the back doesn't look anything the same. Like, if you say the back looks the same on both, like the Ally and the Claw, I don't know what you're smoking, but like, you're not going to get much different than that on any back. But the front, yeah. Speakers are located the same place, the start and select, but you're going to probably come across that design very similar. But I think some other pieces don't look the same, like shapes and stuff.
8 regular efficiency cores.
Cascoder, I like that. Dedicated Windows bloat cores. To be fair, if it handles it and doesn't eat a lot of performance, I'm fine with that. Raichi, 8 hours of visual novel so I can finish Sucker for Love in a single charge. Ooh. Sucker for Love is 3 hours, and any of these devices, you can beat it in 3 hours, Raichi. I think on the Ally, you could probably get 3 or 4 hours to beat that. Unless I beat Sucker for Love in like 3 or 4 hours.
The difference is they have either 4 or 6 performance or P cores. So depending on the AAA games that you might want to play, it could make more sense to go for the 155H, especially given the relatively low difference in price.
I hate it.
At 3 different price points, starting at $699 with
end of Q1, so we're going to expect it in March. I can't guarantee I'm going to be able to buy it in March, but we'll see. Yeah, $699, $749, $799. I swear I heard this is going to have 32 gigs. Is it not going to have 32 gigs? Damn it. They screwed up. They really screwed up. That's another big knock against them. Yeah, Raichi, 16 gigs.
The middle one
disgusting.
Looking like the best one in my mind because that 512 gig SSD can easily be upgraded just by removing a few screws and popping in a new 2230 M.2 SSD. Oh, and all my excitement about the speeds and feeds, I kind of glossed.
I wouldn't say it's easy. Once you have to remove any part, it becomes less easy.
Over a major detail. The screen is 1080p, 120 hertz, and should reach a peak brightness of around 400 to 500 nits. So about what you'd expect for a machine of this class. Just like you'd expect this Segway to our peak brightness of around
120 hertz refresh rate, fine. Like, honestly, they're just going to make panels that work that well. Like, it's not a big deal. Chalice, $400 would have been a steal. I'll wait for the Switch 2. The Switch 2 is going to be an interesting one. They keep on saying it's going to be more, it's not going to be like a huge revolutionary thing, which I'm not surprised. It's going to be a generational improvement in graphics. But $400, don't expect any of these devices to come out at $400. MSI, the ASUS, Lenovo, they know where their market's going to start buying these, and around $600 to $700 is the sweet spot for them. They know that they could sell it for less, but I don't think they'd make a profit. They have to make a profit on these. Steam Deck is a very old architecture, very different game when it comes to why they sell it for how much they sell it. Stay lifted, FN. I'll wait for the Steam Deck 2. I don't blame you. I talk about me getting this stuff and all that because I do channel stuff. Now, I have not been releasing videos as much as I need to. I really will be trying to work on that. Once again, I think I'm getting my health stuff taken care of, but I've said that before multiple times. So once I know I have a clean bill of health and everything like that, I'm going to be going to a lot more videos along with updates on my game. But I do this type of stuff, and I'm really interested, and I like doing videos on this. So, yeah. Cascader will wait for the Steam Deck 2 OLED. I don't think they're going to make two different Steam Deck 2s. I think the Steam Deck 2 will be this. There's a good chance the Steam Deck 2 will just have the same screen size as Steam Deck 1, which I'll be offended over. And it's going to be probably the same screen, the OLED. So they don't have to redo it, the manufacturing and all that, and it will make it cheaper. 2230 NVMe. Yeah. NVMe doesn't bother me that much. It looked like they had room to make a bigger one. My biggest thing is screen and the RAM.
Nits, so about what you'd expect for a machine of this class, just like you'd expect this segue to our sponsor.
Are your headphones cushions hot like a tiny steam room? Stop steaming your ears like your broccoli. Wicked Cushions offer all sold out cushion.
Wow, they have become like Linus Tech Media Group is just essentially just like a TV show at this point. They're really good with their segues and everything. Araichi, if the Series S is able to run current games with 10 gigs of RAM, the Switch 2 should be able to run all the games current gen at 1080. I agree with that, Raichi. The difference is that the Series S is highly optimized to run at 10 gigs, and there's a lot of things that aren't going into it. Like with these portable handheld PC gaming devices, they're not optimized, so just giving it some extra RAM really goes a long way. Yeah, the rest of the video is an ad. Thank you, Icarus. I kind of figured. So, like, I always like Linus. He's upbeat. He's fun. I like watching his stuff, even with some of the stuff, controversies. But I'm definitely interested in it. There's a chance I'll buy it for the content, but we'll see what content I ended up making this year. Okay, let's see here. I want to see him play this. Then another reason I like ETA Prime all around. I think I like his content. I think he does a great job, but I also want to see him play it. The rest of the videos solos. Would you rather heavier with the better battery life or lighter with the same battery life? Solos, I don't mind the weight of it now. Like if it's a Steam Deck 2, make it heavier if it's going to give me better battery life. Cascader is going to want lighter. I don't have issues. I played 25 hours of Shadow of Mordor being sick last month. In less than a week, I beat that game on the Steam Deck, and I didn't have any issues. Raichi, Solos, this should put a dock on the back to put an extra battery. I actually kind of agree with that. There's a lot of cool things I want to see. That's the thing. This is what makes me so excited. And what we're going to cover up next too is another reason I'm excited is that you might not have to just have the original Steam Deck. SteamOS should work with better architectures of AMD, which means that, and since we have MSI, Legion Go was very daring with this design, and I'm very happy with the way they were daring. I just wish it was daring done right. But you never know. You never know with the way that they're going to do things with these consoles, handhelds. A replaceable battery, a hot swappable battery would be really cool and probably easily doable. The more you think about it, the more they could probably do. In fact, why haven't they done that yet? I'm sure it's because people want to take off the back and upgrade and all that. But I'm sure at the bottom they could make it just like a laptop. You know, the laptop batteries where you can just pop them out. I think they're going away from them less. Like they're not as prevalent, but with a handheld like this, I can see them doing that. My mic might be peaking a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna move it back then. I've been having some issues with this mic doing that. How am I sounding? It's peaking still. Am I sounding a little better now, Cass? Okay, Rachie, handheld PC is like being back between 2010 and 2016 when smartphones were cool and keep changing. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I've never thought about hot swappable batteries. I'm gonna have to put that into my I need to make a new list of like what I want in the Steam Deck 2 now that all these cool things are coming out. I think hot swappable battery might be on that list. Thank you. Thanks you for the heads up, Cascoder. I'll try, but yeah.
What's going on, everybody? It's ETA Prime back here again. MSI finally announced their brand new handheld gaming console, and I was lucky enough to go hands-on with it at CES. I can tell you...
Yeah, stay lifted. If you're content with the Steam Deck, just save up for the Steam Deck 2, and don't worry about getting the OLED. Like, if you use it a ton, like I'm saying, like, if you're able to sell your Steam Deck, and you plan on playing the deck like more than 8 to 10 hours a week, then maybe the OLED actually might be for you.
Right off the bat, it actually feels really good in the hand. Not super heavy, and really, when you compare it to, let's say, the size of the ROG Ally, they're right on par with each other. There are some...
I will have to say the speaker grill looks cheap. I don't like the way that this speaker grill looks. It looks old school, and that makes me think cheap.
Awesome features built in here, and I do want to go over some of that stuff. I wasn't able to do any performance testing myself, but as soon as I can get one and do some testing, I will make several videos on it. And if you're not familiar with this upcoming handheld, it's known as the MSI Claw A1M. Basically, what we've got here is a 7-inch 1080p IPS display at 120 Hz, dual 2-watt speakers.
Oh wow, he's not putting up any graphics or anything. Interesting. Is he a single-man team? He might be. The dragon is pretty cool. Oops.
Dual analog sticks, a dedicated view button, MSI center.
Here we go.
iGPU. It's got a maximum dynamic...
Which is getting better. The ARC is getting better, but it has some issues.
2.25 gigahertz.
Like Cascoder mentioned in Discord with... no, I don't know if it was Cascoder. It might have actually been... Hi. With DirectX 9 and 10.
8 Xe cores. It supports DirectX 12.1, OpenGL 4.6, OpenCL 3.0.
Nothing surprising
it's a
there.
6 performance cores are going to boost up to 4.
Recommended customer price 503. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, all this is pretty like expected. I'm just gonna fast forward because I honestly just wanted to see him holding it more than anything. And I think he's just going over the website now. I should have done a video like this, but I have not been feeling 100% the past few days. Let's see here.
From what I can tell so far, not too bad. It's the HyperFlow cooling system. It's going to keep that Ultra 7 155 nice and cool, even at those higher watts.
Yeah, Cascoder, it was high. You and high are very... they give a lot of information, so sometimes they get you mixed up. It's a good thing. I think you're both very smart, and so I mix you guys up. I like nerd. This is a nerd, and I mix up nerds. You know, I'm kidding, by the way. I have the same RGB rings on the $9 gamepad from AliExpress. Stay lifted. Yeah, it just depends on how much you play. If you played a ton, it is worth the upgrade. Honestly, I really do think it's worth the upgrade, especially if you can either you can gift the Steam Deck to someone that you know that's going to enjoy it, or you buy the new Steam Deck, or you just sell it as a. You're not going to sell it for a ton because the new Steam Deck OLED is the hot thing, but you know just how this works. don't expect to be like the last, like with consoles. Hopefully Deck 2 comes out sooner, but I could wait. Yeah, I honestly, I would not expect it this year. I'd expect the Steam Deck 2 to come out next year. The latest 2026. And definitely with them releasing the Steam Deck OLED, really showed that they're fine releasing. They said they're not going to release a more powerful one. They're going to wait for a few years, but they're okay releasing sooner than like every 5 years. So I think we're going to see it in 2025. I don't know what your cryptography means, Raichi. Your hieroglyphics. Stay lifted. Only reason why I don't want to sell is because how hard it was to get the Steam Deck. It was a pain. Yeah, I 100% agree with you. Yes, I 100% remember. My original one broke. It is over there, and the daughter boards are broken. I need once Steam Decks get a lot cheaper, then I will get a broken one from someone and repair it with the daughter boards. I just need to swap the daughter boards out, and it should work. Yeah, I think it's a defect, honestly, with some of the original. They can fail.
But yeah, this is something
Okay. I think we're kind of done. The Claw is, I think, going to be about 10-20% faster than the current AMD selection, is kind of what I'm seeing. It depends on the game, of course. Some games are going to run better. Some games aren't. Same with emulation. Some emulators, some systems work really well with Intel as opposed to AMD. I think, though, it's interesting, the price point and everything like that, and what you can get an Ally. If they can really deliver on the battery performance, then they'll defeat the Ally. If they can't, then the Ally is still going to be go-to. Like, you can get an Ally for like $400 or $500 if you really look hard. You can get a new one, or like a box, like a open box, which is essentially new, for like $500. So I don't see why you'd want to spend an extra $200 or $300 to get this over that, when on paper it'll play most of the same things. So if you have an Ally, this is interesting. Like I said, I will probably end up buying this. There's a good chance, especially since it's Intel. I'd love to have an Intel and AMD kind of battle off between all the devices, but yeah. My kind of final thoughts on this are, it's cool. I like to see MSI joining in. I wish they were a little bit more daring with their design. They went a very simple route. But MSI joining in, ASUS joining in, and Lenovo joining in, they probably will iterate within a year or two and have some new designs for us, so like a new handheld or something. I wouldn't be surprised. Plus, maybe they'll go the route of Steam Deck or SteamOS, like the AYANEO Next Lite, which, why call it? Just call it something else. Excuse me. So I used the parking. What does the P mean? That there isn't any dock emoji. Steam Deck. Oh, okay. The Claw versus the Steam Deck. Oh my gosh. So you got the Claw, like the alien with the finger, and then you got, okay, I like that, Raichi. Okay, I like it. It had to be deciphered, but I got it. Now I got it. Thank you. Stay lifted. I have a handheld emulator for emulating the RG Plus. What do you think of the RGXX Plus? Any handheld emulators? I don't know. Oh yeah, the RG. Of course I know what this is. I have not bought this yet. I've actually, it's on my wish list. I actually do plan on getting one of these RGXX things. So I have not played with it myself yet, but I actually do plan on getting one. Partially also to have something that's really portable to distract my kids with. And they like playing old school games. I have an SNES, like the SNES, like new school thing. My mom bought it for me for Christmas a few years ago when it came out. And my son loves playing the fighting games and stuff on it. So I love it. It warms my cold heart to see my sons, start to enjoy gaming like I do. Devices are fine if you're looking for PS1 or lower, and that's what I'm looking for. There's a lot of PlayStation 1 games I want to go back through and play. Raphael, I love my Steam Deck, but I was looking for something like a Legion Go to play the most demanding games. Oh, Raichi, thank you. Game over. Why game over, Raichi? Why do you have to be like that? But yes, thank you for the donation. You are awesome. Raphael, I love my Steam Deck, but yeah, the Legion Go, I have a feeling the Legion Go I have is, even though it doesn't act like it, I think it has some type of defect with it. I think either Legion Go or the Ally, you're going to do fine with playing most demanding games. My experience, though, hands-on experience is that the Legion Go or the ROG Ally has been really good at playing everything that I could throw at it. MSI copied ASUS's homework to make the Claw from the Ally. Yeah, they didn't copy much, though. They copied it, but not much. I'll be honest. I don't think they've copied it that much. Like, it's not like it's the most, like, I do think the Ally's front design is pretty genius, but it's not like it's the most genius thing in the world. Oh, Raichi, it's game over for me. I'm going to sleep. Okay, good night, Raichi. Have a good one, man. With retro achievements, it makes it worth playing the old games. Stay lifted. It does. I have not used the retro achievements yet, but that's pretty cool stuff that they're doing. AYANEO announces the next Lite, the first non-Valve handheld PC with SteamOS pre-installed. It's aiming to be budget-friendly, so don't expect cutting-edge hardware, which is I'm fine with. So it's going to have, the little PC is powered by an AMD Ryzen 7 5825. Why a 5825? That's interesting. So hopefully the next Lite will come with something. Oh, wait, the power, which is 2 years old now. So hopefully the next Lite will come with something more recent, such as the 7840 as used in the AYANEO Air 1S. Okay, yeah. I could get by with the 7840. Yeah, okay. I've read through some of this already. Yeah, it's coming out. So the picture hopes that the next Lite is the first of many handheld PCs coming out in 2024 that supports SteamOS. Yeah. If their work, AYANEO, and I'm sure some other companies are working with Valve to get it released. Valve said they weren't going to support devices that didn't have a similar hardware spectrum. Not spectrum. A similar hardware spec to the deck, meaning some type of pads, track pads, whatever you want to call them. They don't have that on there. I will have to say, though, that looks very pocketable. It looks very handy. I like the way that looks, that it kind of holds, but I have gotten used to the start and menu systems and stuff like that being up here on this. I honestly think if they would have just stuck them right here, it would have been perfect. Down here is not too bad with the way AYANEO, like my AYANEO Air is not too bad, but I have gotten really used to having them on the side. At least it's not the Legion Go. The Legion Go is just, it's such a big controller that it's so awkward to have it over to the side for the menus or for the start and select. It's got a little less bezel at the bottom and the top. I think this is a slick device. When it comes to the AYANEO, I know I keep on saying I like the stuff and I never buy them ever since my Air. I've heard good things about the newer AYANEO, so I'm curious. I'm really curious to see this thing come out, and this might be something I will get if SteamOS works really well. I'm probably only going to get 1 or 2 devices this year, and right now the Claw and this are like the top contenders, obviously, because I don't know of anything else. If Razer comes out with something, maybe, but Razer has a hit or miss on its build quality and battery quality. And that's usually built based off their build quality. They pump all that hot air into the battery and blow it up. The spicy pillows, man. Cast coder budget friendly. It's not going to be $1,300. I expect this to be probably $600. If they're using old enough tech, or if it's light, meaning they're just going to do the lightest version they can do possibly, I could see this thing being like $700-800. I don't think it's going to be $1,300. It would come out and it wouldn't sell. Maybe. If SteamOS is really good on it, maybe. I don't know. Stay lifted. Brink, do you recommend to build or buy a pre-built PC? Very controversial take from me. For a lot of people, depending on how, like, if you're entry level, want to know how to build a PC, PCs really aren't that hard to build these days, and you want to get it as cheap as possible at the highest whatever, you're going to do a lot of researching. You're going to do a lot of researching. I feel like it's harder to build a new PC, like build a PC nowadays than it was like 10 years ago. That's just my opinion. But then again, I also look at like reviews and all that, and I just never feel like there's any review that's quite right. I really like NZXT. That's what I'm sporting right now. I usually build my own PCs, but for the past 2, I haven't. One of them was partially because I just wanted to try the football from, what's it called? Wolf has it now. The Corsair one. Love that thing. It was so portable. Had 2080 Ti in it. Or maybe just a 2080, I can't remember. This one has a 3090 in it. I bought it to mine crypto on it and pay it off, and I did do that. And I couldn't get anything else. I wanted to build a PC. I couldn't get anything else, so I bought the NZXT. I loved the way it looked, and it's been a pretty baller thing. So if you go with something that's pre-built, NZXT is good. It's going to be have a little bit of a premium to it, like a little extra, but I think it's worth it. That's just my opinion. People are going to say one way or another. I do think when you're going with pre-builts, there's a lot of research usually done if it's a good company into compatibility between parts and all that. You also get support. There's good ways and bad ways to do pre-builds. I would not recommend a Walmart pre-build. That being said, building your own PC is really fun, and I definitely think if it's something that even slightly is interesting to you, you should go that route. But some people just don't care as much. Necrosphere, Rafael, this is the way. My RGXX is a pocket-friendly, plus I don't fear someone be... Yeah, that's another thing. Having it would be nice because you're just not as worried about someone stealing it. I agree with you, Necrosphere, on that. Rafael, I don't trust AYANEO even though their devices are well done. I don't think their devices are that well done. I think that, well, in the beginning, I think they've gotten much better. I think over time, they definitely are doing better. For someone like me, I would totally try an AYANEO device. If it's the only device you're going to have, then maybe something more mainstream with better support. Like with the Legion Go, because mine's not like working as much as I think it should be, as well as it should be, I'm going to go return it. If I can't return it, I'll exchange it and do some more tests with it. But honestly, it's gotten to the point where I've kind of, I could do tests and all that, but I've kind of just done with the device for now. But I might buy it later this year at a discount if it's on sale, the Legion Go, and try it again. I don't personally want the AYANEO Flip DS, but waiting for a revision with a bigger bottom screen. If that, okay, I agree with that, Cascoder. If that device is SteamOS supported, let's say AYANEO comes out and says, because there's no reason, okay, SteamOS is coming to this, then you could probably put it on any device, now that I think about it. Any device that has the similar specs to this, which is going to be an AMD APU, will probably be able to do it. I don't know what they have up their sleeve. Either they're forked it, which then they wouldn't be SteamOS fully, or Valve is actually going to be announcing something this year, which they're probably going to announce this year that, hey, we have third-party support now for SteamOS. I wouldn't be surprised. That might be their big thing this year for Valve. That's a good prediction, actually. I think we're going to get SteamOS on pretty much any device. So, yeah, I agree with you, Cascoder. I actually really like the AYANEO Flip DS. And if you're someone that likes to emulate a lot and wants to emulate DS games, and also the Switch, what am I thinking? Not Switch, the Wii U. that device seems very promising. I really like it. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, here, I'll show you. This device looks very promising. Yeah, the screen is smaller than I thought it was going to be. Oh my gosh, that thing's a chunky boy. Oh my god, look at that thing. That's chunkier than I thought it was going to be. It probably is fine, honestly. I like the way it flips up. I think this is going to be more pocketable than a lot of devices. I don't like the sunken controller joysticks. I just don't. Parts of this do look like it's going to be a little not as good, but it'll make for a good portable device that you can just do some stuff with. Like, meaning it wouldn't be my main gaming device, but it'd be something I'd take on the go. Like, the GBD Win Max 2, honestly, I might get another GBD Win. If they can make an even better GBD Win with their next iteration of that, which I'm assuming they're going to make one, the GBD Win Max 2 was actually one of my favorite devices I've used. I started out hating it when I did a little review of it or overview of it when I was just looking at it. I didn't have it. Once I bought it, I really liked the device. I just didn't use it enough last year to justify keeping it, and so I sold it. I needed the money too, because reasons people might know of, might not. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we were going to get anything new from this one. I want at least 8 inches screen if I do get another device. I don't blame you, Chalice. I love 8-inch screens a lot. And I honestly, that's another thing with the Claw. The Legion Go just wasn't quite good enough for me in a lot of aspects. And so it kind of, the 8-inch screen was awesome, but everything else kind of just didn't make it fun to play for me. So there's no point in having 8 inches. But if they could make an 8-inch screen that's kind of like the Legion Go or like the ROG Ally. It doesn't have to be 8.8 or whatever the Legion Go is. I just want an 8-inch screen. I just want it to be an inch bigger. I think that's perfect. Okay, next is how the heck are people dropping $800 with each handheld PC that releases every couple of months? Cannabis sales are booming in the USA. Well, less and less people are having money to afford kids because, let's be fair, having a kid costs thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars every year. So instead of that, they are buying a pseudo kid, which is their handhelds. Probably what it is. I don't know. US 800 for a PC is too much in my opinion. I agree and disagree, Raphael. I think it just depends. I think it's, if you're buying it every year and not selling and all that, I definitely agree with you. I think it's too much. I do this kind of, I do make some money from YouTube and all that, and so I can justify buying like 1 or 2 every year. Now, if I made videos every day like I should be doing, I could easily be justifying it and making sure you guys have the best content possible. But that's something I have to work on. Plus, I have my video game I'm working on. Okay, I only bring my Steam Deck to work sometimes because I can lock it up with a key near my office. But yeah, okay, Necrosphere. Yeah, I don't think I live anywhere that I'm too worried about Steam Deck. Chris Lee, what's the games that run the best on the Legion Go? Can you give me a couple of games? I honestly don't know compared to I never got anything working as well as I wanted. Like, Cyberpunk 2077 runs okay, but it was, for me to get it to work really well, like, it was just, the FSR was too high. Honestly, I really will say, and it's just, I didn't have any, and I've mentioned this multiple times with the Legion Go. I didn't have any artifacts. I didn't have anything that was really telling to say that, like, I was getting inappropriate performance on the Legion Go. I've updated it multiple times. I've refreshed, like, the operating system. I've done a lot of stuff on it. I still do think there's something wrong with my Legion Go. Like, it's just the APU's not clocking right. To where I fully think that it probably plays the same games as the ROG Ally, but mine would play games really well if it was the Steam Deck. So I couldn't really give you. I'm sorry, Chrisley, I couldn't really give you any good games. Just any game that plays on the Steam Deck plays great on the Legion Go. Stay lifted. Thanks. It's NZXT. You're correct. Yep, it is NZXT. Raphael, buying from Chinese companies is a big risk because you don't have a warranty. They do have warranties. That is a myth. They do have warranties. The problem is to get your if you have problems with your device, it can take months to get it replaced, or a month. As opposed to if you buy from Best Buy, let's say any of these handhelds coming out, if you have a problem and they have them in stock, you can go down to your local Best Buy and just swap them out. Super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Okay, let's see here. Necrosphere, Brink, everyone remembered to bash that bell and like button with your crowbars. Yes, do that. Do that now. Thank you, Necrosphere. Raphael, yeah, man, it's the safest thing to do. Keep your expensive devices at home. I agree with that. But at the same time, I do like to travel, and so I like my Steam. I'll be honest, my Steam Deck is my inexpensive device at this point. It'll be interesting to see which one I choose to do some of my travels with. Maybe I'll have to do some travel videos with the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally. Which one I kind of prefer, like, because the experience can be a little different between Windows 11 and SteamOS and like offline mode and all that other stuff, just to see like once you're in the airplane, once you land, when you're at these other places, how it's going to run and everything. We'll see. We'll look chunky in the pockets. It will look chunky in the pockets, but baggy pants are back. Thank you, Gen Z. So get yourself some of those baggy carpenter pants back from the 2000s, and slap that bad boy in there. Subscriptions open up at 9:30 p.m. What does that mean? Subscriptions. Where did you read that? Was that at one of these other places? Subscriptions. I don't know what that means. I don't know. Brink, once you got 8 inches, you can't go back. Exactly, Deckersphere. It's 100% correct. Once you go 8, you can't go back. Raphael, which is true. I love devices with big screens. I was talking about Chinese companies. If you spend too much, you can have problems in the future. My GPD WinMax 2 died less than a year. Yeah. Oh, that sucks, man. I'm sorry for that. I did love my I don't like the controllers. I'll be honest. The controls on the GPD WinMax 2 sucked. But for like quick little gaming spats and then being able to work on stuff and like browse how I want to, I loved it because it's just big enough screen. I sent my GPD WinMax 2 for them, but they couldn't fix it. It was so frustrating at the time. Ooh, that sucks. Yeah, I was gonna say like, and that's GPD though, but GPD and AYANEO are a little different. I will have to admit, like it does worry me. What you're saying worries me. But I do like that form factor. If they make it just, I like the old form factor, the old netbooks that they used to come. If they made a netbook, handheld gaming device, GPD WinMax 2, just a little bit bigger keyboard, perfect device for like easy travels. Stay lifted. The cool thing about the Legion Go are the Joy-Cons that they made. I agree. I think that's really cool. And I used it. I think FPS mode is really cool too. But like I said in my review, I will just pack a mouse. I do want to see devices continue to do what Legion Go did. I love that they were brave enough to go like that. But I had to be honest about me wanting to play it. I just didn't enjoy playing it as much as some of the other devices. Like I wasn't picking it up. I got that and the Steam Deck OLED, and the Steam Deck OLED's not even that different than the original Steam Deck. I found myself gravitating to just playing the Steam Deck OLED or the Ally, depending on what I was playing. It was on the AYANEO light graphic. Did I? Over here. Subscriptions opens at 9. Tomorrow it's okay. This is another thing because they really don't have a good marketing department in the sense of like I I don't know where this person learned English, but it wasn't from, I don't know. Actually, wow, does that have two USB-C ports? It does. Well, damn, this actually looks sick. It has a touch. If this thing's light, then this thing is a sick device. Dude, if this is, I guess we're going to find out what the price is tomorrow. Oh, wait, the Claw, which one? So, yeah, I'm assuming subscriptions open. So, like, it's probably meaning reservations, or with AYANEO, it could be their websites opening up for, like, to be notified when they do their Indiegogo campaign, or the Indiegogo campaign opens up at this time tomorrow. So if you guys like this device, which I think is a pretty cool device, I actually think this white one is pretty slick with the orange accents, then go for it, I guess. But like I think I do think we've been warned a little bit that Chinese companies tend to be, it's just not as good of a support experience. When do you think they will have the AYANEO flip on Amazon to buy it, and how much will it be? I have no clue. It will probably be upsold by like $100, and it will probably, I don't think they can actually do that. I think Amazon really does not like that. Let's see. We can go look at the, let's see, AYANEO, just AYANEO, I guess. So you can see they have the devices on here. Ooh, that Geek does not have a good rating. But honestly, are these sold by the company? Nope. This one could be. Nope. So Zestio resells them, I'm assuming. So I don't know. You might see them, you might not. It just depends on how popular they are. I'm assuming at one point you probably will, but they're probably a really wacky price. Why am I on routers? Damn it. It's because I did it this way. Okay. Pause on the site. Oh, wait, I guess. There you go, buddy. Okay. Me whipping out my khaki cargo pants with the 4 giant pockets, and plus it's a natural thought repellent, Necrosphere. Not anymore, Necrosphere. Be careful, because they are not thought repellents. They are the opposite. Because baggy clothes are back in, baby. Raphael. But I love the flip from like the DS. I hope Western companies release something similar in the future. Maybe. Honestly, that's the thing about AYANEO. They release way too many devices, but at least they try. They have a bunch of different iterations. They do try. They have a big market in China, though, so that does help. But, yeah, I really do like the idea of the flip. So I agree with that. Should we see what my weather is going to be like? I don't want to. Okay, enough of that. Too much political stuff in there. Dude, it snowed. I think we're going to end up with 2 or 3 feet of snow by the end of tomorrow. Where I'm at is just, I couldn't go anywhere. I wanted to go get Jimmy John's, and I couldn't get Jimmy John's. So, poor me. Yeah, I really do hope so too. Okay, let's go. Hopefully you guys are fine going on from the hardware over to some software to some like covering. I've been covering games and some other stuff, but I want to cover something a little bit more mature, just real quick, and then I need to call it. The Unity software to cut 25% of staff and company reset continuation, and Twitch, which is 1,800 people, I believe, which is ridiculous. And the worst part is the CEO made out like a bandit. Like, did his thing, destroys the company's reputation, like a lot of really goodwill in less than a year. I mean, he destroyed it a few years before, but like last year, he like really tanked the reputation. And then I think he was just like fired, right? But I'm sure he walked away with tons of money. And so because the company's now struggling, which I don't know if they're actually struggling or not. I have a feeling I think this is very preemptive, but they also hired on a ton of people over the years. I wouldn't be surprised if it's leaning up a little bit. It does suck to see this though. And I don't know where to think about it because I was a part of layoffs a year and a half ago, and I'm really like sensitive to this. Cascoder, yeah, no, it's been snowing pretty hard for the past little bit, and so like, yeah, 2 to 3 feet is amateur size, but that's what we get here in Salt Lake City. In the city itself, in the mountains, that's a different story. But if they don't clear it fast enough, I'm not driving in 2 or 3 feet of snow on the roads. So yeah. Yeah, so I wanted to bring this up because it just really does suck. And it really sucks that, like, I don't know what it is, but, like, I'm all for, like, capitalism. I like the idea of capitalism mixed with socialism. I think you need safety nets. I think you need incentives. But, like, in the gaming world, capitalism kind of sucks. And I don't know if too many people can really, like, say otherwise, right? Like, capitalism in the gaming world kind of sucks. Sorry. It just does. You got Blizzard, an actual game company like that makes video games, Unity that makes gaming software or software to make games. They just really don't do things right, and it just sucks that people that worked really hard get let go because of this. And Unity's done it as an amazing toolkit. Like, Unity and Unreal are both amazing, and even Epic's been doing layoffs. And so I just want to throw that out there. I really like it's cool that, like, people can make money from games and doing all this stuff, but, like, I just want to really just say, hey, companies, stop hiring CEOs that are, like, from different industries that don't know anything about games or anything else. This guy was in a very different company than what Unity does, and just really tanked a lot of stuff with it. Really, Blizzard, same thing. Dude, Bobby, whatever his freaking name is, like, dude, everyone at Blizzard hates his guts, and it's just sad. These boards need to understand, like, you need to have someone that heads the company that respects the employees and the craft. Twitch laying off 35% of the workforce in the latest round of staff cuts, which is 500 workers, which isn't even that much, actually. The problem is with Twitch is that they keep on wanting to... They do the worst things possible. Now we're moving over to here. I think it's a little bit different. I don't think it's fully like a corrupt CEO or anything. I think it's Amazon just wanting more profits. They're like, we want to keep on making more profits every year. I think they pay too much to the biggest content creators, and they pay too little to the smallest. And then on top of that, I think and then they kind of ruin some of it with too many ads. You'll catch me streaming on twitch.tv/TH3BRINK, the Brink. I like doing it and all that, but, like, their ads can be like 2 minutes long, which is a little ridiculous, but it is what it is. I think that might be part of their problem. They need a better way to monetize, maybe, but also running continual streams, like streaming, and that infrastructure is expensive. The problem with Twitch, and I've read a lot of stuff into this, is that they are doing this just to slim down and make more profits next year. Or at the end of this year, say that they have a good profit, because they need to continually show that they're making more and more money every year. And they're probably not growing very well between their blunders and Kick and all that and YouTube. They made some blunders last year. So there's a good chance that could be hurting them. Well, and Raphael, they only think about money is like the good point about that is these companies only think about money, like especially when you get to a certain size, but then they do everything in they don't understand there's passion in games. And if you have higher ups making decisions for these games, they're just going to get every time. They're going to get screwed over every time. They don't make as much money. You make money kowtowing to your consumers, and they've got this really weird thing going on where they're like, we're kind of better than you, and so we know you deserve what you want. It's what it feels like with these higher ups. They've got it one of those complexes, and so. But yeah, with Twitch, it's it's profitable. And I think they practice Hollywood. I've read a lot of stuff into this. They practice Hollywood accounting, I think, where they say they don't make any money, but they're making tons of money off of AWS fees from this. So, Twitch isn't making any money, but they're actually making a ton of money from AWS. So it's getting funneled into AWS, and AWS makes a ton of money. So they could say, oh, well, we're not releasing as many features now. We're going to let a bunch of people go, and so they're letting a bunch of people go and slimming down. I don't blame them because streaming is not the most profitable thing sometimes. Like, it's just a continual stream does cost a lot of money. It's not cheap. YouTube's not cheap either. Like, people don't realize, like, the infrastructure to run video is really expensive. What's up, Chad Cat and Baby? It sucks for these workers, at least in the Twitch realm. It will be easier for them to get a new job than like in these game companies. Same thing with Unity. The type of software they build can be transferable to other places, Microsoft, whatever it is. And even though Microsoft did layoffs, a lot of these companies did layoffs, they still rehire. The thing is, they restructure their future, and they'll fire people, and then they'll hire maybe some of them back in different places because it's easier for them to do that than to figure out something else. So we are not going to have time for anything else, but CES had AI trends, had screens reinvented. They look at that bezel-less. Like, that's crazy. I don't want to see an eyeball. I don't know why they put an eyeball up there unless it's a horror movie. Next-gen gaming devices, which I think, system laptops. Gaming tech remains staple of show floor at the year's CES. New Intel 14th gen mobile chips were found inside new laptops from Alienware, Lenovo, ASUS, Razer, and other, along with expected updates across the board for higher performance. Yeah, and I think the only handheld gaming device there, was from MSI. I'm surprised. And that's interesting. Maybe Razer won't come out with anything this year. Maybe they're going to wait until next year. I'm surprised Razer didn't come out with anything at CES. They're pretty big at bringing stuff out at CES and announcing it there, aren't they? Yeah, Energy Tech Evolution. And then we're not going to go any further. I have to call it. I've kind of hit my done time on this. We've almost hit 2 hours. The Last of Us 8 wins. So the Creative Arts Emmy Awards go to Nick Offerman for the guest actor in drama series. Storm Reed. Let's see here. Picture editing for. This is pretty cool, by the way. Cast Coder. That they won 8 Emmys, or Creative Arts Emmys. Prosthetic makeup for Infected, which was killer, by the way. This is really cool. And The Last of Us did a really amazing job with their TV series adaptation. I'll say that. I'll read a couple more comments, and then we're going to call it. Cascoder, Hasbro's Wizards of the Coast laid off most of their staff. Hasbro's 3 top executives made over $21 million in bonuses. Agreed. Honestly, why do you think we need to start taxing people? $21 million. Like, that's ridiculous. I honestly think there needs to be more regulation. I know the conservative people and libertarians don't like that, but more regulations, and there's no reason an executive should be making that much money. They're pocketing it hard. When most of the And that's so weird. Hasbro's Wizards of the Coast laid off. Like, that's so much. You just make me upset with that, Cascader. Okay. You like triggering me. Raphael, but I like Twitch to stream my DJ sets. Oh, there you go. Nice. Necrosphere. Brink, may I suggest a quick one? Check out the Prey Dog. Oh, basically you can turn a non-VR game into a VR as long as you're running on Windows. Oh, interesting. It's an Unreal Engine VR mod. Interesting. This is the they're consistently posting to it. They've been working on it for 2 years. Damn. Okay. Valve Index. Oh. I am curious how well this works. So interesting. I'm not surprised. I could see eventually like us getting to be able to make almost any game work in VR. I mean, with some exceptions, of course. Works with, oh. Dang, I'm gonna have to play this now. I'm gonna have to try this out. Thanks for recommending that, Necrosphere. I am going to look at this. I guess you can't see it. I thought you could see it. Brandon Kitchens, I've been figuring out a problem I've had with the printer for a week. Well, finally got it fixed. Oh, nice. Welcome to 3D printing. You're not an official 3D printer until you have issues like that. Raphael, horror games are awesome in VR. They are awesome and freaking scary. But Half-Life Alyx is the pinnacle. Like, honestly, I need to go through and play that game again. That game is so much fun in VR. I love it so much. It's so freaking they're nerding about 3D printing. Okay, cool. Let me know if you're watching this afterwards. What if you get to this point? Let me know in the comments what videos you want to see me do in the future. What do you want to see me cover with my limited time at this moment? Maybe in the near future I'll be better fully and I'll be able to cover things more. But as for now, at least I can do these weekly streams. Then also keep an eye out for me streaming on twitch.tv/th3brnk. I'll throw it just out right here. You can follow me there and chat with me. It's fun. I have a fun time there. I'm a little more chill over there. I guess I'm pretty chill here. Oops. Yeah, you can follow me there. I stream. I'm going to start streaming at a different time, but typically Mondays and Fridays from 7 or 8 to 10. But I might be streaming from 4 to 6 in the future. So, Brennan, Chad, that is, this dude I watched was fixing his video. On one moment he's repeating, "I love 3D printing." 6 minutes later he was like, "I freaking hate 3D printing." Yes, the up and downs of 3D printing are very much like that, Chad. Raphael, your live streaming was cool. Hope to see you soon, my friend. Thank you, Raphael, for stopping by. And yeah, I like doing this type of live streaming and all that. So, Chris Lee, I'd like to see a poll for best PC handheld. We can do that. I've done it already, but it never hurts to do it after the fact. And so we'll do it and we'll see how it is, what everyone thinks, because we've got new stuff. In fact, we'll do one of future stuff coming out and past what was 2023's best handheld. So I'll try to remember to make those polls. I won't do it on this stream, but I'll do it on the actual YouTube channel. And then next week, if you want to remind me, I'll do it as a poll on the chat. So thank you guys for stopping by and being here for me. And you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for nerding out with me this week. I'll see you guys next week or in another video. Peace out. Later, guys.